Hello everybody, it's Fern. Welcome back to another planty video. Thank you so much for joining me for this garden vlog. Yes, it is Fern in outdoor mode today because I am going to be going out into the garden for the first time this year. For the first time in... It's been a while. I had a rough fall and I ended up just kind of abandoning the garden late summer, and I have a lot of cleanup to do now, which is obviously going to be my main focus right now. Today is April 5th, so we are getting into the planting season here. I live on Vancouver Island if you're new here. I have a backyard raised bed garden where I mostly grow vegetables and herbs, some flowers as well. And I'm still a fairly new gardener. This is going to be my third year with this. Wait, no. Yeah. Oh my gosh, my third year with this garden. So I'm very much learning things along the way still. I thought it'd be fun to create some garden vlogs, so this is going to be the first one of this year. I did post one last year, a similar kind of thing, like a cleanup. Maybe I did some planting as well, but I really liked the way that that video turned out, and some of y'all really enjoyed it as well. So yeah, and I like doing videos that span over time, so I'm just going to be popping on over the next, I don't know, week or two. We'll see. I was actually thinking about doing monthly garden vlogs. I don't know if I'll be able to commit to that, but we shall see. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. We are gonna head out and see what things are looking like because I have not even set foot in the garden. I can see it out my window, but I have not been like walking through it. So I'm sure that it's gonna be very enlightening. It's actually a stunning day out today as well. We have a high of 18 degrees, so it's definitely the warmest day of the year so far. It is like partly cloudy. It looks just so gorgeous. So let's go ahead and head out. So things, as you can see, are in quite a state. I'm gonna walk you through first so we can have a nice before shot. And like I said, I hadn't walked through here prior, so I was seeing the skeleton of last year's garden for the first time with you here. A lot of just dead plants, a lot of weeds, a lot of mess, to be completely honest. And this has been an exercise in being patient with myself and not being too hard on myself. A sentiment that I share frequently on this channel is that our hobbies are here to nourish us and nurture us. They are not here to stress us out. So that is something that I have to really keep in mind when it comes to the garden because it can feel very overwhelming, especially at this time of year when there's so much work to be done. But I am confident that I will have the garden restored to its former glory soon. I will put some videos or photos on screen of what it looked like last year during the growing season because I really am proud of what this garden is. I have put this all together, like this whole space. I've executed everything myself. I even installed drip irrigation myself last year. So I really am proud of what it is. And just because it's a little messy, you know, that's okay. Sometimes life gets that way, and we are starting to work on it today. So I'm starting off with my green stalk planter here, which is a vertical growing system. It's actually really neat and you can fit a lot of different things in it. This was taken apart and just left on the ground, which honestly was probably for the best over the winter time so that it didn't have to deal with all of the winter storm winds and stuff like that. But it did have a lot of weeds that had crept into some of the tiers. So I'm going around pulling out all of the weeds, and then I am going to put it back together and we're going to plant this up a little bit later on. But it's just nice to get it up and off of the ground for now. And I also did some weeding around this area as well and really freshened it up. One of the hardest things to get on top of in the spring is just weeding the wood chip area. I originally had cardboard down when I first laid these wood chips and put the garden together, but the cardboard is pretty much gone now, so weeds can grow through really easily. It can get hard to balance weeding the beds and also weeding the wood chips, but I often have to prioritize weeding the beds. But I do try to do the wood chips whenever I can because it does make the area just look so much cleaner and tidier. And I also do find it quite therapeutic to pull weeds. Like, I really don't mind doing it. I usually listen to an audiobook or music, and it's actually quite enjoyable. Although I am getting old now, so it does hurt my back a little bit, but it's fine. I'm actually thinking that I should keep up with the weeds in the wood chips year round because they start really ramping up towards the end of winter, and then I'm already so busy with other garden tasks like planting and getting the beds ready that by the time I get around to doing the wood chips, it has become such a big job. So I think that I should start doing some year-round weed monitoring in the garden just to make my life easier during the growing season. This end bed here is at the front of my garden. Last year, when I did my spring prep, I started at the back of the garden, but I thought that it'd be more satisfying to start my cleanup from the front because it's what I can see when I look out the window or when I go outside. So I'm trying to use like a psychological tactic on myself here to keep the motivation and the dopamine flowing. So I started by removing these massive overgrown kale plants that have gone to flower now. Got those bad boys out of there. There was also a lot of debris from sunflowers and cosmos. I had a lot of giant cosmos in the garden last year. I really learned my lesson with that. I'm only going to be doing dwarf varieties of cosmos in the raised beds because it was so chaotic. I mean, they were gorgeous, but it was crazy. So I am just clearing all of the plants out of this bed, and then I think I'm calling it quits for the day back here. And the last thing I'm gonna do is just some pruning on my hydrangea. It just needs to be cleaned up a little bit from the winter. I'm gonna remove the dead woody branches so that I can get some nice new growth on it. Now, I really don't know what I'm doing when it comes to growing hydrangeas, but this is my second year with this one, I think. This is actually a really stunning variety called Eclipse. It has basically black foliage and really vibrant raspberry colored flowers. It is so beautiful. I put it in the ground 2 falls ago. Fall of 2024 I put it in the ground, I think, and here it is today, coming back to life in the spring, which is very exciting. So yeah, I'm just winging it with this one, to be honest with you. I'm just removing the old flowers and, like I said, removing the dead stems. This is kind of the same thing that I do with my berry bushes. But yeah, here it is, all naked after its trim. I spent the next few days just popping out when I could to finish up the weeding and all of the prep work for these few beds near the front of the garden. And I also ended up grabbing some seedlings, some veggie starts, which you will see in a moment. Okay, hello. I think it's been about a week since I chatted with you, but I have been puttering around in the garden just every so often. I have been mostly weeding. I have one bed that's completely set up and ready for planting, I had to add in some soil and compost to kind of freshen everything up. So I still need to do that for like 8 more beds, but I have one of them ready. And I decided to kind of take the approach this year of, like, last year I weeded everything before I planted, but this year, since I'm getting a later start and just to boost morale, I suppose, I think that it'll be nice to kind of plant as I go. So I do want to do some planting today, and I did grab some starts, and I think that I'm going to be sowing some seeds either today or sometime soon this week, hopefully, because I'm just really trying to get cracking here. It is a stunning sunny day today, so I'm hoping to get a lot done this afternoon, but we'll see. So first of all, I grabbed some kale. I have a couple different kales. This is the red Russian, and I have a butter crunch lettuce. I love butter crunch lettuce. Now my plan was just to get a few starts, and then I'll also direct sow, and that will kind of be my whatchamacallit, like, succession planting plan. I have a curly kale. I'm such a huge kale person, so I always get lots of kale going in the garden. We have this spinach here, and then I got 6 strawberries for one of my green stalk tiers because I had to basically pull all of the strawberries from one of them because it was just so overtaken by weeds. But one of my tiers, all 6 strawberries, I think are doing okay. So I'm glad that I was at least able to save one tier, because that will save me some money, and maybe they'll produce more this year. I don't know. Oh, and then you're actually propped up. You are propped up against my marigolds, and I wasn't sure how well these were gonna do, but they've been sitting outside for like 5 days now and they look fine. Oop. I thought it was going to be a little bit too cold for them, but honestly I think that I'm good to go with planting these, so I'm excited to get these in today. So I'm gonna go ahead, grab any supplies that I need, and I'll meet you in the garden. Okay, so this front bed is the one that is ready for planting, and I've also weeded most of the wood chips around here as well. This is where my back started to hurt a couple days ago, so I'll have to pick up from where I left off there. But I think what I'm gonna be doing here is I'm gonna do my peas on that half of the bed, and then I'm gonna do some kale over here, and then I want to get my green stalk potted up. So that's where these guys are gonna come in, and I have all of my seeds here, which are kind of a hot mess. I just abandoned it unorganized like this last year, which isn't surprising because I am me. So I have to take the green stalk apart again to pot it up, which is fine. It's not hard to do. It's just kind of heavy. So I guess I'm gonna start with that. And I also realized that I have potatoes that also need to be planted up, which would mean I need to fill all of my potato bags, which is kind of a big job. So we'll see how far I get. Honestly, I'll be happy even if I just get one area planted up today. So I'm just gonna buckle down and see how much I can get done. I've had success growing a lot of things in my green stalk planter, but one of my favorite things that I think I'm gonna grow every single year in here is strawberries. So I do 2 whole tiers just dedicated to strawberries. Honestly, if I ever get another green stalk, I would probably do 1 whole green stalk with strawberries because you can never have enough strawberries, you know what I'm saying? So I have some from last year, and these are new ones that I'm popping in right now. And then I'm just freshening up the soil in these planters as well, and just topping it off with a new bag of soil because you are supposed to keep this filled right up to the top. So I try my best to top them up nicely here. That will also give them some fresh nutrients. I decided to plant carrots in the middle tier because I actually had a lot of success growing carrots in my green stock last year, and I've had less success growing them in my raised beds. So I decided that I'm gonna do carrots in all of the pockets of this one. Now I have a few different varieties. Some of the seeds are pelleted, so you can see that they have like a clay coating around them because carrot seeds are so tiny, so that makes it a little bit easier to plant them. And also carrot seeds have a bit of a longer germination period and they need to be kept moist, so it can be a little difficult to get them going, but I was sure to come out here every day and make sure that this tier stayed nice and moist, and they did end up popping up at the end of the month, which is very exciting. Something that I struggle with when it comes to planting out the garden is keeping up with succession planting. So, for example, right now I have all of these carrots going in here, which means I'm going to get one harvest of carrots because they're all going to be ready around the same time. So ideally, every few weeks I would sow more carrot seeds, but it's just hard for me to remember to do that and to keep up with that. So it's a goal of mine to keep that in mind and to keep working on getting better at that so that I have multiple harvests throughout the growing season. So I'll probably end up trying carrots in my raised beds again, even though they didn't do great last year. I'm gonna just keep trying and see how it goes. Now in this next tier, I am planting beets, which I've grown before in my raised beds. Last year, I grew a few beets and I really wished that I planted more because I was so happy with the ones that I grew, and I love putting beets in my in my smoothies. I do a beet strawberry smoothie. That's absolutely delicious. So I would love to have beets for as long as possible coming up in the garden. And with the green stock, you don't have to plant the same thing in each tier. I just find it easier to keep track of in my brain. But last year I did a really good mix. I had different things growing in each pocket, and that was really fun. And of course, once something's ready to harvest, then you can plant something else in that pocket. So it is a really cool way to grow. It just so happens that right now, all of the tiers pretty much have one thing in them. In the bottom tier, I ended up planting my lettuce and spinach starts that I got, which I ended up regretting putting it on the bottom so close to the ground because the slugs have gotten my spinach and it is full of mini holes at the minute. So note to self, put the greens up higher in the future because the slugs just love them. I could always rearrange this if I wanted to, but I'm honestly not too pressed about it. So I have 2 tiers with greens, and then the remaining 4 tiers I ended up seeding some cilantro that I actually harvested. I harvested these seeds from cilantro that I grew in 2023, and the seeds are still viable, so that's pretty cool. And the most difficult part of this whole process is putting the green stalk back together, only because it is so heavy when these are all topped up with soil. But at least I haven't watered it yet, because that makes it almost impossible for me to lift. So I'm putting it back together, and I did end up bringing a sponge out and giving this a good scrub. So you'll see a shot in a few seconds here of it all clean, and it just looks so great. I'm so happy with this. I purchased this with my own money, by the way. I feel like I talk about it a lot when I talk about my garden, but it's just because I truly think that it is so cool and innovative, and I always have such great luck growing in it. I decided to then start constructing my trellis situation for my peas, but you will see that I changed my mind after I set this up. Okay, I just came inside to take a little break, and I looked out here and I was like, I don't think that I love. Okay, so what I was thinking with putting the like pea situation here, I was thinking that maybe it would provide some privacy, because the front of this garden, like people walking by can just see into the yard. So I was like, oh, it might be nice to have that. But I don't like looking out through the window and having so much of the garden blocked, like once this is all full of foliage. So I think I'm gonna move it to this dark green bed, which means I need to weed that bed and get it topped up with soil. You can see just how much soil, what's the word, needs to be replaced after the winter. Kind of a crazy amount. Like, it doesn't maybe look like a lot, but once you're filling up the bed, it is a lot. But I've heard that that's a sign of healthy soil, because it means that things are getting broken down, and there is like a ton of worms and little bugs and critters in these beds. So I feel like the soil is really healthy, which is good. But yeah, I think that's gonna be my plan, because I just don't think I'm gonna like looking out here and having like such a tall thing blocking off the garden. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm so happy to have the green stalk planted out. That feels amazing. And now I need to figure out what else I'm gonna put in this front bed, because I was planning on putting the peas there. So I need to go back to the drawing board here, but I'm going to go ahead and start working on kind of clearing that bed out. The last thing that I'm going to do today is plant up my kale and some of my marigolds that I got as well. I was really working overtime with my brain here trying to figure out where exactly I wanted these to go, because I know that kale gets so huge, and a goal of mine for the garden is to not overplant and to not plant things too close together. I feel like I already might be failing at that, to be honest with you, but I'm just trying to keep things more manageable for me this year and more tidy. So I was really putting a lot of thought into where things were gonna go. And I just love marigolds so much, and they're also great for companion planting, so I put those kind of wherever I can squeeze them in. Something else that's going to help me with keeping the garden more tidy and not so overwhelming is keeping up with staking and trellising things properly, because the past couple of years my garden has just been kind of sprawling everywhere and it's hard to walk through. So I need to remind myself that pruning is okay, pruning is good, and to just try to stay on top of staking things before they just get way too out of control. Hello, gardening vlog. So I'm gonna be heading out into the garden for hopefully like an hour this afternoon. I really want to get my potatoes planted up. It was raining yesterday, so I didn't get out. Today it's beautiful and sunny, so yeah, I really want to head out quickly this afternoon. I've finished all of my editing and everything that I needed to get done today, so now it's garden time. And I ordered something and it's garden related, so I figured that I would unbox it with you. Now, I'm not ordering a lot of garden stuff this year because I have spent a lot of money to get my garden up and running over the past two to three years, I guess now. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. And now that it's kind of established, I just want to not be spending a lot of money. But there was one thing that I wanted, and I did go ahead and get it. I actually haven't even ordered any seeds or anything yet this year. Like, it's kind of crazy. Look at me being so frugal. Okay, we have a box within a box. Okay, so I have been wanting a nice seed starting tray set, and I know that something like this isn't necessary, but I really like the look of this one. This was on sale, and I just like that everything is gonna be kind of kept together. It just works better for my brain than having like things chaotically just like mismatched and everywhere. So I went ahead and ordered Green Stalk's seed starting kit. So it looks like this, and it comes with 6 different 6-cell little seed starting trays, or seed starting little pod things. And then oh, I see. Okay, so then there's this part with like the handle, and that has holes on the bottom. And then there's this tray that it sits in for like watering. So I just think that this is gonna be really convenient for me. All I have are like cheap plastic flimsy seed trays, which are just not that great. And yeah, I just like that this is just one kind of unit that they can all just be like carried out together. And yeah, that's really appealing to me. So I figured that I would treat myself and grab this since I'm really not spending a lot of money on the garden this year. Am I starting seeds today? No, I don't think so, but I'm excited that this arrived and I really wanted to open it. So yeah, I wanted to show you. I'm gonna kind of have to decide what I want to grow from seed at this point. I still can do a lot of things. It's not too late. So yeah, I just need to kind of formulate a bit of a plan, which is probably going to be happening next week. Anywho, that is my garden mail for today. I like that the bottom is open like that, so you can just push out your seedlings super easily. That's really cool. And it feels like nice and sturdy as well. So I'm super excited about this. It's Greenstock brand, and I do have my Greenstock, as we've seen. I ordered this from Indoor Farmer, which is a Canadian retailer of Greenstock, if you're wondering where to get one in Canada. I ordered my Greenstock from the Greenstock website. Not my chair, just casually falling apart, okay. I ordered my Greenstock from the Greenstock website directly. Last year, was it? And the shipping was so absurdly expensive. It was expensive for me to check out, and then I also got hit with more fees when it got delivered. So it's great that you can buy their products from Canadian retailers now and skip out on all of the extra charges. But yeah, this isn't like specifically for starting seeds for my Greenstock. It's just gonna be for like anything, any part of my garden. But yeah, really cutie, super, super excited about that. And now I'm inspired to do some garden planning because right now I'm just kind of flying by the seat of my pants. But like I said, I do know that for today, I want to get my potatoes planted and also just check on things. Maybe some of our seeds have come up. That would be so nice if they have. So let's go see what's going on out there. I also re-hooked up my drip irrigation last week, and I was so nervous to test it out because I didn't do any type of special overwintering or anything, and I was just really nervous that it wasn't going to be working, but it works. As you can see, it's so satisfying to see the garden getting watered without me having to do anything. So that is grand. All of these guys are doing really well in here. My kale, this pansy even that I relocated from the other bed, it's doing so well. There's 3 flowers on it now, which is so cutie. This is just a random one that popped up. And then I did grab another start of a lettuce. This is a romaine lettuce, and rosemary right here, because these can be pretty slow to start from seed, I think. So grabbed that and potted these in here, or planted these in here a couple of days ago. Now I just checked the Greenstock and everything's looking good as far as these strawberries go, but I don't have any seeds coming up yet, so that's okay. I guess that they are just taking their time. Oh yeah, and there's this little frog here, which is so cutie. But I think I'm gonna water this right now because it is a little dry, and you're really not supposed to let carrot seeds dry out. Uh-oh, it's actually drier than I thought. It rained all day yesterday, or all afternoon, so, well, this one's not bad. Anywho, I'm gonna water it before I get started with the potatoes. I just had to come in for water because oh my gosh, it is hot out there. It's only April and it's a windy day and it's still just like, our yard gets very, very hot. So taking a little break, I have all of the potato bags prepared. I just need to pop the seed potatoes in there. I usually do, I think about 3 seed potatoes per bag. I know you can like cut them and stuff. I just never bother doing that because I always end up with too many anyways. But yeah, and I think that what are the varieties I have? I was just looking at them. Yeah, Burbank, which is a russet, I think. And then, what is the other one called? Like Jessica or something? It's like a woman's name, but I forget what it is. I grew both of these varieties last year and liked them, so that's why I just grabbed the same ones again this year. But yeah, okay. Need to recharge and then head back out and get that all finished up. Oh, Jennifer. Okay, that's what they're called. What was I calling them? Jessica? I don't know. Okay, this one's huge. Look at all of the little sprouts. I think you're supposed to plant them face up, pointing up. So I am going to, how am I gonna do this? Just gonna dig little holes for them. That's a big one, so I'll put a couple smaller ones. Wait, these are the russets. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I actually think I want to put the russets in the other spot. So I'm trying to keep it straight in my brain this year of which varieties I have planted where. Oh, wow. So chonk, so fuzz. These are smaller. Okay, I ended up having to do 4 because I had so many potatoes, so I'm just gonna go load up with some more soil and fill these the rest of the way up, and then as they once they shoot out greens, then I'll unroll this and I'll fill it up with dirt even more because you get more potatoes that way. So that's why I'm doing it this way with rolling it. But yeah, we have 4 more there, 4 more there. Need to put this in the garbage. These guys ready to go. And then I had 6 left over, so I ended up putting them in these. These are technically tomato planters, but I don't think I'm gonna put tomatoes here this year, so I just popped some potatoes in there. And I'm also gonna fill these up to the top right now. I'm not gonna be able to do the adding more soil thing to these ones because they're just not as big, but that's okay. I'm curious to see how they'll do. Actually, last year I did potatoes in here and they turned out great. So you don't need a ton of space. The next garden project that I took on was building a row cover for my brassicas because last year I loved growing broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage. They were some of my most rewarding crops to grow and harvest. However, I was battling my nemesis, the cabbage moth, and it just became so tedious and annoying that this year I wasn't going to plant brassicas at all, which felt like a bummer because it brought me so much joy last year. So then I decided, why don't I just go ahead and create a simple kind of hoop situation here where I can put a protective mesh over top to keep the cabbage moths away. Now, unfortunately, the 1/2-inch PEX pipe that I'm using here did not fit over my rebar posts, so I had to head back and find a different size. Okay, I just grabbed the 3/4 inch tubing, so that should work. And y'all should be very proud of me because I almost bought 2 grapevines. Which would just be another make work project that I don't need right now. I really want to grow grapes on the arbor that we have on the fence because it's very sturdy. It could hold up to a vining plant like that, and oh my gosh, how great would it be to have grapes. My friend Shannon's mom has a great garden, and she grows grapes, and I was there picking grapes last summer and they were so delicious, and I was like, oh my gosh, I want this for myself as well. But the problem that I have is the deer in our yard. They would destroy that plant if it's not protected, so I would need to put some type of like deer fencing around it, which I don't even know, like, I don't know how I would do that. I'd have to like plan it out, buy supplies. It would be a whole thing. So I decided to hold off on grabbing grape plants, but I was very tempted. So maybe that'll be something else that I'll have to plan out and work on this summer. But for now, I think that my plate is more than full. So I actually do want to make one more stop on the way home. I want to stop at Canadian Tire because they have really cheap veggie starts, and I want to get some broccoli so that I can get these guys planted up once I'm finally finished with installing this row cover situation. So I'm gonna stop there, see if I can grab myself some broccoli and have like a quick 5-minute browse because I need to get back home. But yeah, I did want to head out today, so it's fine that I had to come and buy that different tubing, but I mean, it is kind of annoying that I wasn't able to just like get that going when I was out in the yard, but oh well, that's how it goes. There's always roadblocks. Well, not always, but a lot of the time there's roadblocks, and you learn as you go. I found some time a couple of days later to pop out and finish building my row cover here so that I can get my broccoli and cauliflower planted up because I did purchase starts for those. So I have them ready to go and I want to get them situated in here. So I just hammered some rebar into the ground here, and luckily my 3/4 inch tubing fit perfectly over this, and I'm actually really impressed with how this turned out. Like, it's quite sturdy. I'm really happy with it. I want to do this on one more of my beds. This is a larger sized bed here. I'm gonna do it on one of these smaller, probably the light green one that's behind this one. I'm gonna do a row cover on that one as well because I have cabbage that I want to plant up also, so I'm gonna need another bed covered. But I'm really curious to see how this kind of holds up throughout the season and if it is effective. Okay, it is time to get my cauliflower and broccoli planted. I'm doing a purple variety of cauliflower. I don't think it was this exact one, but I grew a purple variety last year, and it was just so beautiful and fun to grow, so I really wanted to go for that again. Last year I grew almost everything from seed, and this year, since I'm getting a later start, I am buying some veggie starters. So it's a bit of a different experience for me, but I'm enjoying it so far as well. It's fun to go shopping for the starters, I will say that. I'm planting these a little bit closer together than what's recommended, but I'm just trying it out and seeing how it goes. I want to utilize this space efficiently because I am not really putting anything else in this bed. It's all just going to be cauliflower and broccoli. I still have the second half of the garden to clean up and to get planted, but I have so been enjoying having my garden up and running again, and I hope that you have enjoyed watching this process as well. It is so, like I said, nourishing and relaxing to be out here. Even just coming out and watering my plants for a few minutes every day is very rejuvenating, and as you can see, there's a lot of different wildlife in our yard as well, which is just so nice to see. Everything has been settling in really great, and I'm gonna do a walkthrough / tour of how this looked at the end of April next. Okay, so here's an overview of how everything is currently looking. Now, I am already falling behind and kind of struggling with the weeding, but that's okay. I'm just gonna keep chipping away at it when I can, but don't mind all of the weeds and the wood chips. It just is what it is. I went ahead and planted some green onions in this bed, as you can see, and I also direct sowed a dinosaur kale and some parsley, I believe. There's also some nasturtium and cosmos in here as well, a dwarf type this time, so don't worry, it's not going to be taking over again this year. But the starts that we planted have been settling in really well. My kale and lettuce and spinach, and very excitingly, my carrots have germinated and sprouted up, so you can see all of these here. I've just been thinning them as needed because there was a lot that were popping up really close together. And my beets have also come up, which is very exciting, and I love how the little seedlings are pink. They're so cute. And then I was actually surprised to see my cilantro pop up so quickly, but I have cilantro coming up in all of the pockets that I planted it, so that's pretty cool. You can see my holy spinach. Somehow the lettuce isn't as attacked by the slugs. A lot of greens will continue growing if you harvest just from the outside leaves, or occasionally I do harvest an entire head of lettuce, but usually I do a cut and come again type of method. And as you can see over here, my potatoes have started sprouting up. They've now sprouted up in all of my bags and pots that I have them in, which is great. I have basil over here, which is crazy. I planted basil out in April, which it feels pretty wild. I'm up in Canada here, so it's definitely early. I also planted peas around my little makeshift pea trellis here, and they hadn't popped up at the time of filming this, but they have now. So I'm very happy to see them emerge because I was getting a little worried about them for a second, but no, they're looking great. These are blueberries over here, which I haven't really done much with this year, and I also have a pot of chocolate mint, which I want to harvest and dry soon. That is on my list of things to do. These are some starters that I still have to plant out. There's cosmos, snapdragons, and nasturtium. I've planted some of the nasturtium, but not all of them yet. I'm just kind of waiting until I have more space in beds cleared out. These are more of my potatoes coming up. They're so cute, and soon I'm gonna unroll these bags and then fill them up with soil so that I get a bigger harvest, hopefully. I also finished weeding this bed here, but it still needs to be topped up with soil and kind of sorted out. But that one I'm going to be putting the row cover on and doing my cabbages in, I'm pretty sure is my plan. I use these little greenhouse clips to clip on this mesh covering, which seem to be working well, but you need kind of a lot of them because they're so small, so it is kind of annoying to take off, but it's fine. We're taking a peek here at all of my what's in here, cauliflower and broccoli. So far they seem to be doing okay, but I do need to get in here soon and do some weeding because out of sight they're definitely going to accumulate in here. And then lastly, I just wanted to give you an update on the hydrangea that we pruned near the beginning of the video. It has had so many leaves come in, it looks amazing, and I am so excited to see flowers on it again this year. I just wanted to end with a reminder of what the garden looked like at the beginning of the month, because it's really easy to lose sight of how much work I have put in and how far things have come in a short amount of time. So I'm so happy with everything that we got accomplished. Thank you so much for watching, and like this video if you want to see another garden vlog. I would love to do some more of these.